For real estate professionals, a successful transaction often depends on smooth collaboration with the buyer's lending team. The lending process, from application to funding, involves multiple professionals, each playing a critical role. As an Arizona licensee, you are not responsible for originating or approving loans, but you are expected to understand how the mortgage process works and how to communicate effectively with the lending team to keep the transaction on track. Overview of the lending process. The mortgage process begins when the buyer applies for financing and ends when the loan is funded and disbursed at closing. Here's a simplified sequence. 1. Loan application. Borrower submits income, asset, and credit information. 2. Processing. The file is compiled, verified, and reviewed for completeness. 3. Underwriting. An underwriter evaluates the borrower's creditworthiness and compliance with guidelines. 4. Final approval and closing. Loan documents are prepared, the closing disclosure, CD, is issued, and funds are wired to escrow. Real estate agent interaction. Throughout this process, agents may need to confirm that the buyer has applied for financing promptly, track appraisal status, monitor loan conditions and underwriting milestones, communicate timelines and address delays proactively. AAC R428 1101I. Licensees must exercise reasonable care and competence in communication. Understanding the lending timeline and process allows agents to properly inform buyers and sellers and address concerns before they escalate. Key lending roles and responsibilities of a loan officer, LO. Primary role. The loan officer, sometimes called mortgage loan originator, is the first point of contact for the borrower. Duties. Explains available loan programs and helps choose the best fit. Collects the initial application and required disclosures, e.g., loan estimate. Maintains the relationship between the buyer, lender, and real estate agent. Communicates borrower questions or concerns throughout the process. Agent. Tip. Build a relationship with the buyer's loan officer. Ask for updates on application status, credit pulls, and document completion. Loan processor primary role. The loan processor works behind the scenes to gather and verify the borrower's financial documentation and prepare the loan file for underwriting. Duties. Reviews borrower documents, pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements. Orders third-party services, such as O appraisals, O verification of employment, VOE, O credit supplements, flags missing or inconsistent items for resolution. Ensures loan file is clean, complete, and compliant before submission to underwriting. Agent tip. Communicate with the loan processor to confirm that appraisal and VOEs have been ordered early, and remind your buyer to respond quickly to any document requests. Underwriter. Primary role. The underwriter is the person who makes the final decision on the loan based on risk and lending guidelines. Duties. Reviews the full loan file for accuracy and compliance with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, or lender-specific guidelines. Assesses. O credit risk, O income and employment stability, O debt-to-income ratio, DTI, O asset sufficiency. Approves, suspends, for conditions, or denies the loan. Ensures compliance with the ability to repay, ATR rule under the Dodd-Frank Act. Cross-reference. Chapter 3. Ability to repay. This legal standard requires lenders to verify that the borrower can reasonably afford the mortgage. Agents must be aware that job changes, unverified income, or high DTI ratios can derail underwriting. Agent tip. Ask the LO or processor when the file is submitted to underwriting. Once it's conditionally approved, ask what conditions are outstanding and follow up regularly. Closer. Closing funding department. Primary role. The closer or funder prepares the final loan documents and coordinates the financial side of the closing. Duties. Reviews the final closing disclosure, CD. Coordinates with title escrow to ensure correct figures. arranges wire transfers and final document packages, ensures all conditions are cleared, and issues the clear to close. Agent. Tip. Once the loan is clear to close, inform your buyer and confirm the final walkthrough and signing schedule with the title company. How each role supports a smooth transaction communication flow. The loan officer is the agent's main contact. The processor manages day-to-day documentation and can provide updates. The underwriter does not typically communicate directly with agents or buyers, but their decisions must be tracked carefully. The closer ensures that funding and disbursement occur on time. Stage timeline impact application. Starts the process. Delays here affect the entire deal. Processing critical for timely submission to underwriting. Underwriting. May take 3 to 7 days. Delays may require contract extensions. Closing funding. Typically happens 1 to 3 days before scheduled closing. Best practice for agents. Track the loan milestones in your calendar. Proactively follow up on appraisal orders, loan condition clearance, and clear to close. Keep your buyer informed, but avoid providing financial advice. Refer them to the loan officer for specifics. Legal and Regulatory Consideration Statute or Rule Description, AAC, R428-1101B. Agents must disclose material facts such as financing delays, loan denials, or contingency changes, AAC, R428-1101I. Agents must exercise reasonable care and competence, including understanding the lending process and its effect on closing RESPA, Federal. Prohibits agents and lenders from offering or accepting kickbacks or referral fees. All relationships must be disclosed, and fees must be transparent. Compliance reminder: don't guarantee loan approval, speculate on underwriting outcomes, or offer advice on specific loan terms. Stay within your scope and refer clients to their lender when needed. Understanding lender roles builds trust and efficiency. In any Arizona real estate transaction, the buyer's financing progress directly impacts the timeline and success of the deal. As an agent, your job is to know who's who on the lender's team, track the loan's progress through each stage, communicate clearly with both your client and the lending team, disclose any known financing delays or concerns to the other party and your broker. By understanding the lender's process and responsibilities, you become a more effective advocate and resource for your clients and ensure your transactions stay on track. Statutory and compliance reference. Recap, rule or statute summary, AAC, R428-1101B. Material facts about financing must be disclosed honestly and promptly. AAC, R428-1101I. Agents must demonstrate reasonable competence in all areas affecting the transaction. RESPA ensures transparency in lender-agent relationships and prohibits financial kickbacks.